cha umoja, the poor libation. Libation is not worshiping your ancestors and all that. It's remembering those who came before us. Those people in our bloodline, those great people, we remember them. Because if we don't, who will? Right? And we model this to one another, to our children, because we will become an ancestor one day. We can't avoid it. All of us are going to be ancestors one day. So we're creating the way we want to be remembered. We're reconnecting to how our ancestors remembered who came before them. So since we all going to be ancestors, we need to create ways and reconnect to ways so that the children can do it in healthy ways, so they're not graffitiing on the wall, rest in peace, boo-boo. And they're not tattooing it on their bodies that somebody passed. You know, they come up with different ways to try and remember people who passed. But we can do it with libation every day, right? So we start this libation, remembering those who came before us, those great names. Call out the names of great people who built bridges for us, who sacrificed, who taught us. Call out some of their names, and we'll say Ashe afterwards. It means we want to give their names energy. We want to lift up the names of these people. Please call out the names of those great ones that we remember. You know the only ones you get at Black History Month, right? Okay, so let's call out some of the names of those ancestors. All right, so we want you now to call out the names of your ancestors, those of your direct bloodline, your nanas and pop-pops and big mom, all those ones that you came from, because they may not be taught during Black History Month. They're not going to have buildings named after them, streets named after them, schools named after them, but they still need to be remembered. Because they contribute. So call out the names of your bloodline. Ashe. And we're going to end this libation. This is a short one because we got more to talk about. We're going to end this libation making a commitment to the unborn, those who are on their way here. You know, this life Africans believe this is we don't die, we just come back again as the children. You know, not like reincarnation, but we come back. We get a chance to keep coming back till we make the world right. So we got to keep coming back because the world ain't right. You know, so we got to come here and work to make the world a better place. So we're going to pour a libation for the unborn, and we're going to make a commitment that the world they enter will be a different world. That they won't have the same struggles that we struggle with. They'll have their own struggles, but we at least should have reduced some of them for them. So we want to pour libation for those yet to come, the unborn. And I end this libation pouring for our ancestors that rest in the four corners of the earth. In the east, the south, the north, and the west. Those unknown, whose souls and bodies are resting in those different locations. Ashe? All right. So I'm going to give you a quick explanation for people. This is like a quick Kwanzaa speed course of the 7 symbols, 7 days. And if you want to know more about the celebration, we recommend you get Dr. Karenga's book. We don't recommend any other book, because other books might have anything in them. Whoever the author is, put their little spin on something, but if you want to really know the deepest meaning about that straw mat, about that cup, about those candles, he had pages written about them. So you need Dr. Karenga's book, because these other books, they be telling you give a gift every day. That's not Kwanzaa, that's Hanukkah. Then they tell you, I seen another book say you fast during Kwanzaa. No, that's Ramadan. You know, so people be mixing things up. So get Dr. Karenga's book, and you're sure you're going to have the right information. We'll have his books available this evening, okay? So we have the straw mat, only 7 symbols, 7 days. 7 principles, only 7s in Kwanzaa. So if you hear some 3 this of Kwanzaa and 4 this of Kwanzaa, you know automatically it's wrong, right? So we got the straw mat, the mkeka, say mkeka. That's the straw mat, that's our foundation. Everything has to stand on a foundation, right? That's your education, your faith, all those things. Resting on it is the kinata, say kinata. The kinata represents your foreparents, your forefathers, those who came before us, because they are a part of our foundation. And what did they give us, these people who came before us? They gave us values, which the candles represent. The candles are called the Mshuma Saba. Say Mshuma Saba. So they gave us values, and each one of these candles represent a different value for Kwanzaa, the 7 days. And they only can be these 3 colors. And you know why. What's the black for? What's the red for? What's the green for? All right, we can't have nothing else up there. Can't have no leftover orange candles from Halloween. You can't have your sorority or fraternity colors up there. You can't have no purple and pink left over from Easter. Because we know what this red, black, and green stand for. Because when we see red, black, and green, we know black folks are going to show up somewhere. We know they are colors. As soon as you see it, you say, oh, there's some black people around here somewhere. That's why colors are important. And that we have to have these 7 symbols. So if I go to Guadeloupe, I go to Cameroon, and they celebrate Kwanzaa, I will see these 7 basic things. That's the national character of Kwanzaa. You have to have these 7 basic things. So each candle is lit for each day, and you discuss the principle. The principle today is what? Ujamaa. So hopefully you're practicing Ujamaa, shopping out there in the marketplace and supporting black businesses and black vendors, entrepreneurs, and talking about the importance of doing that. Because if we don't support our own, who will? Right? They're the best likely to employ your children and employ you. You know, if their business take off. So it's very important. So we had the 7 candles. Then we have the mazal, the fruits and vegetables. Say mazal. That's the fruits and vegetables representing the harvest festival. Okay? And then we had the ears of corn. It's called the vibunzi. Say vibunzi. Or muhindi. Muhindi. Both of them are the correct way to say corn. And the corn represents the children. And for every Kwanzaa setup, you have to have ear of corn for every child in the family. So if you got a lot of children, you just got to buy a lot of corn. But if you don't have any children, you still have to have corn up there. At least one, because it represents that you're still a social parent. You're still responsible for children. Even though you may not give birth to one yet, or ever, they're still your children. So the corn reminds us of that. African culture teaches us that being a biological parent is a beautiful thing, but the highest form of parenting is to be a social parent. To say all children are yours. And want for them what you would want for them if you did give birth to them, right? So you can have dried corn, you can have fresh corn, you can't have a can of corn, you can't have corn candy, you can't have none of that. So, and the last symbol are the gifts, and the gifts are called zawadi. Say zawadi. Zawadi. So we do have gifts during Kwanzaa, so you already know you don't get one every day. You don't get one every day. And the 2 types of gifts. You get an educational gift, and you get a cultural or heritage gift. That's only 2 types of gifts. Educational, cultural, and heritage gift. Cultural heritage could be a carving, could be African fabric, could be African jewelry. And if you get these things, try and learn where they come from, what's the meaning, so you can pass on more education about them. Educational gift, books, paying for a class for someone. So that's only types of gifts for Kwanzaa, education and cultural gifts. And so you don't give nobody a Wii in an Xbox for Kwanzaa. You save that for some other day. And we give gifts to children for 2 things. This is our old teaching in our organization. We give gifts to children and to people for commitments they made and commitments they kept. For commitments made and commitments kept. So when you give a gift just not because they earned it. They earned it. for making promises and keeping them, bringing their grades up, getting along better with their siblings, helping the elders out, whatever, something they say they're going to do. On the day of meditation, which is the last day of Kwanzaa, that's what we do. We talk and we think deeply about how we can improve our lives and the lives of people around us. So those are the 7 basic symbols. And you have 2 supplemental ones. You have the bandera, which is a flag. Say bandera. So we had a red, black, and green flag. And then you should have the Ongoza, which you see here, the 7 principles, somewhere available for people to see them. Have them in print, or have a poster, or somewhere, so that people can see it, because everybody don't know them. And you don't want them to feel bad that they don't know it. Because a lot of us just learned it last week, or we still don't know it. So we don't want people to feel bad. Make it available, right? So those are the 7 basic symbols. I'm going to show you how you light the candles, and then we're going to start moving down this page here, the schedule. The candle lighting, the order and the sequence is very important. It's very important because some people think you start at one end and work all your way across, like start at the left and go all the way right, or start right and go left. But even the candle lighting is purposeful and has a reason how you do it. And Dr. Karenga, he's told me, and I'm trying to get used to it, doing it. He told me not to use the lighters we use. He said, use a match. He said, we get so used to convenience and things. He said, get used to, using something that's still natural, wood, and don't get so quick for convenience things, So I got some matches. So you start with the unity candle, Maisha. First day of Kwanzaa. Second day of Kwanzaa, Kuchi Chakalia. Third day of Kwanzaa. Fourth day of Kwanzaa. You saw I started in the middle, and then we alternate out. Not from one end to another. And this is one of the ways Dr. Karenga taught us how to remember to light. For Kwanzaa, the colors, black is for the people. Normally we say the red is for the blood. That's the way we learn the flag. But he says the red is for the struggle. Because we can struggle without bleeding. We struggle to go to work, struggle to keep our children safe, struggle to pay our bills. You can't avoid struggle. Struggle is a good thing. So red is for the struggle. And normally green is for the land. But for Kwanzaa, the green is for the future. Right? So we say black people who struggle have a future. That's how you remember the order. Black people who struggle have a future. And then you alternate each day. But you start with the black people first. You start with the black, because you can't do much without the people. What about the people? So you start with the people first. Black people who struggle have a future. So that's how you light the candle. The next guy will light what? The next green candle tomorrow. And then, for me, I go all the way back on the other side. And by Imani, I'm on the last green candle. So that's how we light the candle. And when you light these candles, you do your ceremonies, and the children, everybody talk about the principle, put the fire out. Be mindful, the children are attracted to it. Make sure it's not near anything that can catch curtains and catch fires. Once you do your ceremonies and lighting, put the fire out so you're safe. Be safe about it. You know what? The newspaper saying Kwanzaa burned down family house. We don't want that kind of news. They would blame it all on Kwanzaa. They don't blame all them Christmas trees burning up every year on Christmas. But they would on Kwanzaa. And them Christmas trees go up real fast. So we be real mindful. That's real energy. That's fire. So once you do your ceremony, blow the candles out. Make sure it's not in here anything that could catch fire. We had a brother in our organization who was a fireman. He made us very conscious of that. We had to include it in every presentation because we want you to be able to ingather again next year.
I had a book of poetry published December 9th, and it's entitled Quiet Screams. I'm going to read you that. Quiet Screams is on sale right out in front of the auditorium. It's a book of over 25 years of poetry, my perspectives on our movement, and my pursuits. The title of this poem is The Middle of the Ring. Where is the movement? The movement to end racism and the oppression of black and poor people in the United States and world. I'm not asking about a program, an initiative, a theology, or philosophy. Where is the movement? A verb, the action-based collective aspiration and mobilization to liberate. We have a growing Christian church ministry in this country that builds magnificent structures and temples of God that attracts tens of thousands of members every week. That's a movement of black people going to church every Sunday. There is a prison system that receives thousands of inmates daily from across this country and houses hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of young black men and women. That's a movement of mobilization of our young into the prison industrial complex. Each and every week, I watch as bearded Muslim men and garbed Muslim women travel to and fro on Fridays, setting up vending stands prior to and after Jummah services. Is all of this movement? Where is the movement? Black nationalists write academic papers on the intricacies of oppression and racism. 5% draw up a predicament of black folk in heavy mathematics and scientific terms. Revolutionaries make noise, movies, and rappers to free all political prisoners. And all of this is, yet, independent, isolated, demarcated movement. But where is the unified network and collaborative effort to stop the killing of black youth by their peers and the police? Where is the movement, the action, the drive to move some of the money tied to the church, collected before and after Jummah, drawn up from high science and raised by revolutionaries to stop the bleeding and loss of life that plagues our city because of miseducation, poverty, and self-hatred, all perpetuated by way of a racist and classist state enforced by a three-branch government that rambles on and on about balancing a budget and reforming entitlement plans. A movement, not a new CDC, popular football league for athletes youth, no book bag giveaway initiative or free turkey bag and trimmings before Thanksgiving. Where is the movement that has teeth and bites and rips at the core of what causes our children to be so bitter and unloving? Where is the movement that grabs and shakes and paralyzes racists and neo-capitalists? Where is the movement that has grown from the streets and transformed the country? We need a movement, religion in the streets, philosophy guiding the intentions, high science dropped by the lies and change a reality. Where are our movement people? Have we lost them to religion, culture, science, philosophy, and universities? Have we stopped the growth and extinguished the fire and the bellies of our youth that so desperately want and need a better life? Have we all just retreated to our respective corners, leaving the middle of the ring and the depths of our hearts vacant, only to be occupied by fighting of the left or right wing, who need to control and condense our lives and communities? We need movement people, people of action, people who wear Timberlands to go to work, people who don suits to sit by the door and act, people who wear hooded sweatshirts, not to hide their identity, but to keep warm, because the rumble is in the streets, the middle of the ring. We need movement people who do more than recite hip-ass poetry and underground rap lyrics. We need movement people that can and will do more than write tight program proposals and mission statements. Movement people move and act as they articulate. Movement people organize, plan, come together, and get in your face and challenge and don't play it safe. Movement people are young, old, pastors, imams, deacons, rebels, thugs, just released husbands, wives, girlfriends, homies, CEOs, city workers, the unemployed, underemployed, and gainfully employed, thinkers, but doers, planners, but risk takers. all of no one. Where are our movement people? Where is the movement? Who is in charge here? Can I speak to the person in charge? Because I see no movement or leadership as a people. No movement toward a common goal or destiny. All I see is talkers, thinkers, writers, rappers, pontificators, politicians, and polls on TV. We don't need them. They are tired and worn out. For this movement, we need movement people. Calling all movement people. Calling all movement people. Time to stand up and do something. Calling all movement people. We meet and move tonight.
Yes, it does.
And we thank Dr. Karenga for all his years of encouraging us and keeping us motivated to stay together and produce these programs. But this is Councilwoman Jenny Blackwell.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We always thank the Creator first for each day and each privilege to fellowship one with the other and try to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
I will not read them entirely. I have one from myself in the City Council of Philadelphia, and I have one from Jim Rober from the House of Representatives. They both talk about designating December 26th to January 1st as Kwanzaa Week and celebrating the 50th anniversary of Kwanzaa, 1966 to 2016. A little while ago, and we know that Dr. Karenga founded all of this in 1966. As you said in his 20s, my goodness, what gifted, touched, and genius of a man. And I will say that the House of Representatives and the City Council congratulate the Kwanzaa Cooperative in the city and keeping the traditions of Kwanzaa alive in our city, and thus solidifying the cultural significance of Kwanzaa to our citizens and to future generations. And has been said through all of these celebrations all around the city that people talk about what it means, what the principles are, and it helps us to understand who we are and celebrate family, community, and culture. And so it is with great pride that I make this presentation and thank him and his wonderful wife for all that they do. This is the time we look forward to celebrating each and every year. And we say thank you to you and to your daughter and to all who are here and all who celebrate, because it keeps us close, it keeps us loving one another and knowing who we are and what we should be about. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
As we shared, the Kwanzaa Cooperative was formed under the guidance of Dr. Karenga in 1985. We had other formations under different names before then, but the Kwanzaa Cooperative has been the most long-standing. It's done the most work. We have behind. We've done the most work in the city. We try to area. So we want the members to come up because we have a gift for Dr.
Yes.
You know, this is a, yes, yes.
Okay, I see what she.
This is a story book in honor of Dr. Karenga's leadership scholarship. Where some of his contributions, the book would have been big enough. You see the black power list. You see the feather on my eye, all this work that he's done in my eye. And then we have the Ogudiva. Dr. Karenga told, I remember listening to a lecture, he said Ogudiva means baskets of wisdom, right? Baskets of sacred wisdom. So that's the Yoruba Ifa basket, right? Then we have Kwanzaa, down here. Kwanzaa. Then we have our organizational symbol, the Tally symbol. And then we have the Gusasada, the symbols for the Gusasada, and Dr. Maulana Karenga. So this is a story book that gives a little bit about his life. And it's only the second pull I've ever made. And I enjoyed making it, Maulana. I really did. I hope that you were pleased with it and represent just how much you mean to me, how much you mean to all of us. And I just was an honor to do it. And then we got one more basket.
This is beautiful. Just one more thing I would like you guys to do. Give me more of my color.
You don't know how many different colors I had, Mama. This face is big. 4 or 5 times. One time I had one color. The lady said, I don't like that color. Look like he got a rash from the foot this year water. So I had to take it all out all over again. So I got to do it.
Let's get Maisha.
This gift is a gift I made for Tia Loya. Tia Loya got no problem, Mama. This is a jewelry set I made for Tia Loya because she has beautiful jewelry. And it's for these on the end, you can hang your necklaces and everything. And you can put all your earrings here. Color coded like I do mine. But this is the jewelry set I made for Tia Loya. So we just want to show our appreciation to Dr. Karenga and want to thank you all. So I'm going to read this Bible now. And this is the
Maisha shipped that.
Maulana.
Let her ship for a lot.
Let her ship on.
I got my load. That's right. That's nice though.
Really
But
nice.
she was playing with that color a lot. We were talking about it. How you feeling, man?
Dr. Maulana Karenga is professor and chair of the Department of Africana Studies at California State University, Long Beach. Dr. Karenga is the creator of the Pan-African cultural holiday Kwanzaa, Indian Buddhist scholars, and author of the authoritative text titled Kwanzaa, a celebration of family, community, and culture, as well as his new book on the message and meaning of Kwanzaa, bringing good into the world. We have that book today. We'll be out in the hallway to do his book. And after this time, he's here molecular scientist titled Maulana Karenga, an ethical portrait.
Intellectual.
An intellectual portrait, I'm sorry, listen to here. And you know, after I read this, after that, there was one other award that I did Dr. Karenga. Sorry, Maulana.
Take your time. Take your time. 50 years.
50 years.
Long years.
This is our last award for Dr. Karenga. A Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Maulana Karenga for leadership, scholarship, and service from the Kwanzaa Cooperative, December 29, 2016, Philadelphia, PA. All right, so there's so much you could say and want to do for Dr. Karenga, thanking him. So we're going to give him a chance to share with us, and we so appreciate you so much, Mama. So we have to put the mics back first.
And with that wonderful, beautiful award from the Kwanzaa Cooperative, we bring to you from Los Angeles, Dr. Maulana Karenga speaking on Kwanzaa, the Ongoza Sabo, and our constant striving, repairing, renewing, and remaking the world. Everybody who celebrates Kwanzaa, stand up. This is extended Kwanzaa, Dr. Maulana Karenga.
Everybody got him?
One more time.
One more time. Everybody got him? Ujamaa, hofuni kwenu. Kwa niaba ya jumuiya yetu, yani us, na kwa niaba ya mke wangu, rafiki yangu, na mwenzi wangu katika viti vyote vizuri na vyema, tia moyo. Tunasema karibuni miongoni mwetu. Mtakuta siku zote utakuta siku zote mahali pa amani. Na tunawatakia baraka bila idadi na vitu vyote vizuri bila mwisho. Tuna zaidi ya hiyo, tunawaletea salamu za sherehe, ushikamano na jitihada ya kuendelea. On behalf of our organization, us and my house, my wife, my companion, and all things good and beautiful, Timoyo, we say welcome. Among us, you will find your family in a peaceful place, and we wish for you blessings without number and all good things without end. Yes. And we bear witness as an African people that as our beginning was great and good, so shall our development throughout eternity be if we dare struggle, speak true, do justice, and walk in the way of rightness. Hotel. Ashe. Hedi. I had 50 different things in my mind when I was talking, so actually I was giving 2 lectures. So I'm going to start over again.
Yes.
Y'all think that's different?
It's African.
So I want to just say what I started to say when I first came in, and I'm going to focus this time. Just for the historical record, this is 50 years, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Habari gani?
Ujamaa! Habari gani?
Ujamaa. Kwa niaba ya jumuiya yetu, yani us, natia moyo mwenzi wangu katika vitu vyote vizuri. Tunawaletea salamu za sherehe, ushikamano na jitihada ya kuendelea. Na tunasema karibuni, mmekuta jamaa yenu na mahali pa amani, na tunawatikia baraka bila idadi na vitu vyote vizuri bila ya mwisho. I say, on behalf of my organization, us and my house, my companion in all things good and beautiful, we bring you greetings of celebration, solidarity, and continued struggle. And we say karibuni, or welcome. You found your family in a peaceful place.
Yes.
And we wish for you blessings without number and all good things without end.
Yes.
And we bear witness as an African people that as our beginning was great and good, so shall our development to our eternity be, if we dare struggle, speak true, do justice, and walk in the way of right. Hotep.
Hotep.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Hetty.
Hetty.
It is beautiful to be here on this 50th anniversary of the celebration of Kwanzaa.
Kids.
And I say asante to the Kwanzaa Cooperative and to NACO, the National Association of Kawaida Organization, and especially Maisha Ongoza.
Yes.
Not only because of her, okay, come on then, all right? All right then. All right. So again, asante to the Kwanzaa Cooperative and the National Association of Kawaida Organizations, especially Maisha Ongoza. Not only for the gifts she's given me and my house, but for the gifts she's given our people. Because of the light work she has given to our people, and how she has, in fact, come and offered us so many ways forward, ways that are dignity affirming and life enhancing, ways that pull us together and cause us to celebrate ourselves, not only during Kwanzaa, but through the whole year. And so I thank her, and I thank her again. And I say asante sana nabadi ya asante mchango wa pwani ni haba, which means thanks, many thanks, and compared to the many times we say thank, the number of grains of sand on the seashore are few. And I want to give thanks also to Imshujar and Impaji. Where are they? Where are they? Stand up, Imshujar and Impaji. For their work and years of support and advancement of Kwanzaa and the Nguzo Saga, and things that are good for our people. I thank you, and all of us thank you for the good work that you do. Asante again. And I do this in the spirit of brotherhood and say that it is together in love and mutual respect and constant struggle that we will actually build the good world we all want and deserve to live in, and that we will celebrate ourselves in a whole new way.
Yes.
When we, in fact, win this victory we're struggling so hard to achieve. So as Tiboya said, my annual theme, founder's theme this year, is Kwanzaa, the Nguzo Saga, and our constant striving, repairing, renewing, and remaking the world. The 50th anniversary of the Pan-African holiday Kwanzaa, of necessity, brings added focus and emphasis on its customary call for three things: remembrance, reflection, and recommitment. We remember our history and the legacies left, and the people who made and left them for us and for the world. We reflect on the expansive meaning of being African in the world, on the context and issues of our time, and on our way forward and struggle to forge a future responsive to our own needs and interests, as well as to those of the world. And we commit ourselves as Black people to our highest values, to our most honoring, elevating, and liberating practices, and as ever, to the good of our people and the well-being of the world. As we move toward toward the close of this year with the white hammer of winter storms hanging menacingly over our heads.
Yes. 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 Yes.
We must not despair
No.
or be dispirited
Yes.
or contemplate defeat.
That's right.
For the ancestors we honor, the history we've made, the struggle we wage, and the future of freedom and justice we're obligated to forge will not let us. And if we're to go on as we are supposed to go on, we must realize certain things. First, we must realize that we have seen, experienced, and resisted and survived worse systems and worse situations.
That's right. You know it.
For we are people who are known by their resilience, their resourcefulness, their adaptive vitality.
Yes.
We're the people that Gwen Brooks says stay alive in ice and fire.
Ooh.
We're the people that Harold Thurman told us that we are storm riders. We ride the storm and remain intact.
That's right.
And we are again people that Gwen Brooks tell us, like other people are easily destroyed by a whirlwind. But she says, we conduct our blooming in the noise and whirl of in the noise and whip of the whirlwind. Imagine a beautiful concept to conduct your blooming in the noise and whip of the whirlwind. So I want us to see ourselves in expansive ways, not in ways that, like are ghettoized and diminished.
Right.
Not small people with big grudges and apprehensions, but people who see themselves in our most expansive way as world historical people. People who have brought the world something beautiful and good and continues to contribute every day. I know our rent is due or our mortgage. I don't know, I'm still paying rent. But, people are buying houses. I know sometimes our relationships aren't always as rewarding as we want them to be. I know our friendships are not as solid as we work so hard to build them. But guess what? That's what makes life what it is. Our struggle to make things the way they be. That's why we've said, every time I've come here, I told you that you must see struggle as essential to human life.
Yes.
It is the way we define ourselves, develop ourselves, understand ourselves. Struggle, as I said, is one of the most characteristic aspects of the human personality. We struggle to come into being, that's called birth. We struggle to make the most out of being, that's called life. And we struggle not to go out of being, that's called the quest for immortality. So we must struggle, black people. And we must not be afraid to struggle. We must stand up and ask the question, who really is afraid of the big white wolf? And what difference does it make to us? I said, what difference does it make to us?
What difference?
Because there's another established order occupant of a house called white.
Whoa. Teach.
Black people, we are beautiful people.
Yes.
But sometimes our situation makes us forget our beauty. And I call you to remember your beauty at this historical milestone and marker. And it is good then to remember and reflect in this 50th anniversary of Kwanzaa, not only the ancient festival origins of harvest and shared good of the holiday, but I want you to also remember the origins of Kwanzaa in the relentless and righteous struggles of the 60s, the 1960s,
That's right.
for freedom and justice, equality, and power of our people over their destiny and daily lives. For deeply embedded and ever present in the celebration of Kwanzaa and the practice of its founding principle, the Ongoza Saba, is the constant call for and commitment to striving and struggling. Here I use striving and struggling interchangeably, with the meaning being exerting a great and focused effort to achieve excel, and advance. Again, I'm telling you what striving and struggle is about. And I take this from Mary McLeod Bethune telling us we are beautiful in our constant struggle and our constant striving. Pardon me, I have a cold. I'm getting. So I said I want to define this striving and struggle, meaning exerting great and focused effort to achieve, excel, and advance. For the struggle, as we intended it, as we imagined it, as we waged it, and as we continue to do so, is not only to defy and defeat the oppressor, but also to overturn ourselves, to remove ourselves from the legacy of oppression, clearing social space in which we can live, love, work, build, and relate freely, and strive diligently to come, as Garvey said, into the fullness of ourselves. Kwanzaa then was conceived and born and came into being in the midst of struggle, in the fires and furnace of the Black freedom movement. And therefore, it carries within it this legacy and the lessons from it. Sometimes, because the media just likes to see us and project us dancing and singing and drumming, we forget the origins of Kwanzaa. I created Kwanzaa in the midst of the Black freedom movement, especially its Black power phase.
Yes.
And so it has language of struggle and striving. Take the first principle. How do we describe the first principle? Umoja, unity, right? It says to strive
That's
for
right.
and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Why don't I just say, do unity? I say strive for unity.
Yes.
Sometimes Black people think, well, we're Black, we're already together. No, it's a little bit different. You understand? We can't really do it like that.
No.
Right? That's the beginning. It's necessary, but it's not sufficient.
Teach.
Rescue me if I'm wrong.
Teach.
That's why I had the concept of operational unity, right?
Yeah.
Unity in diversity, unity without uniformity. That's why I told you that every principle is a practice. If you don't practice it, it doesn't come into being. It's just an idea in our head. Practice it, right? So I want you to see that certainly this 50th anniversary celebration of the Pan-African holiday Kwanzaa brings with it the regular joyous celebration of the beauty, the good, excellence, and achievement and promise of African people, their culture, and their history. But it also encourages us, Black people, to reach back, to remember and reflect on the awesome journey that led us to this pivotal point in our history and struggle as a people. I want you to reach back and think of us in struggle in the 60s.
Yes.
This is how it came up. Sometimes the media and the other people want to portray Kwanzaa as something that was created to cure a pathology.
That's right. That's what they say.
And they think that pathology was us. But it is to confront the pathology of society. You see? People that are so insecure, they have to stand on your head in order to get height.
Whoa, that's insecure.
People that want to work all day problematizing your identity when in fact they're insecure about their own. And I'll talk more about it in a minute, but I want to just lay the groundwork for you thinking about this awesome journey from 1966 to 2016. An awesome journey that led us to this pivotal point in our history and struggle as a people. For Kwanzaa is above all a celebration of African people, their lives, their culture initiative, and the awesome march and movement they've made through human history. Indeed, on one level, it's also a celebration of our people as a people in struggle who have created a culture and history of struggle to free themselves and to be themselves and to bring and increase good in the world.
Teach.
This 50-year journey from 1966 to 2016, or on our calendar,
Now.
hear what I say, on our calendar, 6,206 to 6,256. It's an ancient Egyptian calendar. This 50-year journey then from 6,206 to 6,256 was one of great and decisive striving and struggle.
Yes.
It was a journey of striving and struggle that began in the Black Power period of the Black Freedom Movement and without digression or diversion has continued to deal with the issues of life and death, of freedom and justice, security from vigilante and police violence, securing adequate health care and housing for the needy, economic justice for all, quality education, and a host of other interrelated issues. So I want you to know then that whether it's mentioned or not, it should be, for Kwanzaa is neither engaged nor celebrated outside the life of Black people.
Teach. Right. Teach, man.
Kwanzaa must always be celebrated inside the lives of Black people.
Now.
That's why I've said to you before, the question of can anybody celebrate Kwanzaa is an improper question. The question is, can anybody celebrate Black people? Anybody can light a candle. Rescue me if I'm wrong. But can you give honor to the people who are the elders of humanity, who are the fathers and mothers of humanity and human civilization?
Woo! I love that. That was nice. That was nice. That was so nice.
That was pretty.
We must celebrate ourselves.
Yes.
We must not doubt ourselves or deny ourselves or condemn ourselves or mutilate ourselves psychically and physically.
That's right.
We must say to the world, here we are,
Here we are.
defiant and Black,
Yes.
beautiful and awesomely ready for life.
Yes. Yes.
Got to do that. If not this, then what? And if we don't do it, who will? So Kwanzaa is about Black people's lives and about the celebration of Black people's lives. It raises critical questions as well as the honored names and righteous deeds of the ancestors.
Teach.
We just don't talk about the ancestors, we talk about what they did,
Now.
what they thought,
That's right.
and how that enriches and expands our lives, how it anchors us, orients us, elevates us, and directs our lives toward good and expansive ends.
Now.
That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Now.
Kwanzaa engages questions in current life as well as in history. Kwanzaa engages modes and means of resistance as well as celebrates the gains we've made, lives well lived, battles well fought and won, and the goodness of life which our ancestors and we have worked and struggled so hard to bring into being, increase, and sustain. On this 50th anniversary celebration of Kwanzaa, it is only right then and appropriate that we pay rightful homage to those who brought us to this good and beautiful point. First, we offer sacred water and words to our ancestors, ancient and modern, continental and diaspora, for the culture they created, the battles they fought, the lessons they taught, the legacies they left, and the ways they opened up for us. We thank them for this rich and ancient and varied culture out of which I was able to weave this thing we call Kwanzaa and these principles we call Ongoza. They gave me this heritage. I searched it and read it and researched it for years. I learned the languages. I studied the languages. I studied the culture. I studied the philosophy. That's why it's madness when people come up and tell me they help me do this.
Wow.
That's not real. They don't know the language. They don't know the culture. They don't know the philosophy. You can't whistle Dixie in the dark and then come out and we not tell you. This is wrong. You know what I mean? We have to be honest about this.
Yes.
Because when you deny what I've done, you deny Black people living right now a model of excellence that they could strive for.
That's right.
Just think about that.
Right.
It's easy. It's easy to point to. It's easy to point to the pyramids and the ancient Egyptians. It's unlikely you got anybody to hate there. Come on, y'all, get loose now. I know it's a deep thinking, but I want you to see it, right? We have to be honest about what we're doing. So this culture, you can do the same thing. Maybe not the exact same thing, but you could do a similar thing. But if you deny it was done, what proof do you have you can do it? Garvey said what humans have done, humans can do. If you erase what they've done, how do we know we do it? You don't do it, do you?
No.
But you know people that do. And it's your responsibility, you nationalists, to tell them at this 50-year mark, it's time to get off that train. It's about to wreck anyhow. And it certainly ain't going nowhere.
No.
The 50th anniversary not only makes us give homage to the ancestors who gave the culture out of which we created this holiday and these principles, but it's also a time to honor and give thanks to our people, African Americans first, and African people all over the world. For it is African people who embraced Kwanzaa when it was offered to them, received it as their own, nurtured it, and made it the national and international celebration of our African self and the history and culture that grounds us and gives us identity, purpose, and direction. We have to give credit to our people, because even if I created it, it would remain just an intellectual idea if black people didn't embrace it and use it to anchor themselves, orient themselves, elevate themselves, and direct their lives toward good and expansive end. Honor and asante, or thanks, also goes to my organization, the critical context in which Kwanzaa was conceived and created. First accepted, first practiced, and begun as a living tradition. There's again a collapsing. I did an interview with a brother from London. And so, well, no, this was another interview with somebody in the U.S. Anyhow, the sister asked me, I was talking about the history of the creation of Kwanzaa. And I was telling her I owe my organization so much for Kwanzaa. And she said, I'm glad you said that, because I wanted you to talk about how y'all collectively created Kwanzaa. So I told her, look, you can't collapse creation with practice. My organization, listen to me. They asked questions. They learned what I said.
Yes, we
They
did.
supported me in
Yes,
it.
we did.
They practiced it first. They promote it.
Yes.
That's not the same thing as creation. And you have to make that distinction. But for some reason, some people among us don't want to give a black man credit. But you know what that is, right? That's a legacy from our enslavement. That's a legacy from the domination, which we'll talk about more in a minute. I just want you to see it's your responsibility to say to people, it doesn't diminish you to give credit to other people.
No.
You should, nobody should. And I don't want people to think I'm immodest or anything. See, that's another way people try to keep people that create things and try to level things by saying, oh, he put too much emphasis on himself. Well, how else would you like to explain it? Ideas don't drop from the sky. They don't grow from the ground. They don't float in from the sea, the Atlantic, or the Pacific. Is that fair to say?
Fair to say.
So I'm saying, if you see the seventh principle, and my name is not down there, don't you think we should put my name down there? And second, if this was Dr. John Clark's work, or Dr. Ben Yakinan's work, or Dr. Amos Wilson's work, or Dr. Asa Hilliard's work, you think people could put that down and nobody would say, hey, won't you put your name?
That's right.
So you ask yourself, why do the people, I know y'all don't do this, right? You ask yourself, why people don't put my name down there? I just want you to see that. My organization does, and I'm forever grateful to them for giving me such a collegial and supportive contact and giving me the intellectual challenge I needed in order to refine. It took time, years, black people, to think of these things, to organize them, to choose the color, to choose the fruit, to choose the symbols, right? And to put it in an accessible, embraceable, and enjoyable form. I want you to think about that. I don't want you to just run away from that, because at this 50th anniversary, if we don't think something new, there's no need of having it.
That's right.
Just telling you. I just want you to see that. And you got to confront yourself. That's why one brother was asking me in the reception about other people. What can we do to help other people? And I was saying it's us, the black-minded people, that first need the help. It's like the instruction they give you on the airline. If you have an emergency and the airbag drop, put yours on first. We're in an emergency situation,
Yes.
Black-minded people,
Yes, here.
black conscious people. So the question is, why don't we work together? Why don't we do the principle? Why don't we insist on people being given credit for what they do?
Right.
If we who are black don't do it, what do you think the people that don't care what and are really, not really black, but just blackish? Oh. And finally, after giving honor to our ancestors, giving honor to our people, giving honor to my organization, I give honor and due credit to the Black Liberation Movement itself,
Yes.
which embraced and spread the practice of Kwanzaa,
Yes.
taught the values in Nguzo Saba, and used these principles to undergird and inform a myriad of programs and projects of liberation and family and community building. They named their organizations after. They undergirded their programs with these principles. They named their children after these principles. And y'all are among those, so give yourself credit and give yourself credit. On this 50th anniversary, I also want you to think about, in this context of striving, our constant striving and struggle, I want you to think about Kwanzaa as not only a celebration of family, community, and culture, but also a celebration of freedom,
Teach.
an act of freedom, and an instrument of freedom.
Teach.
I don't want you to get away from its fundamental definition. Kwanzaa is a celebration of family, community, and culture. But to think about it in expressive and expansive ways, it is first, even before it became an established celebration of family, community, and culture, it had to be an act of freedom.
Teach.
How so? It's an act of freedom in its recovery and reconstruction of African culture.
Yes.
The European had hidden our culture, erased our culture,
Yes.
right? Discredit our culture in many minds. To reach back and take that
Yes.
and to put it forth is a revolutionary act.
Yes, it is.
There is nothing more revolutionary than the reaffirmation of your own dignity,
Hey.
your own identity.
That's right.
That's why I told people, look, at guns, we can find them anywhere. Can we get you to think about yourself as an African?
Ah.
Do you know how much time the European gave to destroying our conception of being African? Then you can see how revolutionary it is to reaffirm it. The people that used to attack it, now they're pretending they always had that consciousness.
That's right.
But just think about it. When they made us hate Africa, when they problematized ourselves from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet, when they said our hair was wrong, our nose was wrong, our lip was wrong, our color was wrong, we had too much history behind it. We had too much knee or leg and our feet. That was a problem. And then, I'm gonna sit back there.
Okay.
I just got excited. I call myself doing what Malcolm called a fireside chat, you know. It's fiery, but it ain't no chat. Look. They work so hard to destroy our conception of ourselves.
That's right.
They weren't satisfied with enslaving our bodies. They felt the need to cut open our skulls, to empty out its content and fill it with this trash they call knowledge. And even today, there's some black people that think we are too black. And that's why they say, I'm not black, I'm just blackish. What kind of perverse concept is that? So people who are French ain't really French, they the Frenchish.
Wow.
Germanish. It's something what they've done to our people, ain't it? And these are the people who are making the most money. Get the most space to talk.
Yes.
So you black people, you black-minded people,
Yes.
you have a special role to play, and you've got to take yourself seriously and stop finding things that keep you from acting together. You don't live in life. Living life is a little different than reading it, than seeing it on television, to watching it in a movie. For a long time, the white man made in the academy reading books and novels on black people as a substitute for the sociological understanding and study of black people.
That's right.
So literature became a substitute for life.
That's right.
I know black people because I just read Toni Morrison. Or maybe I just read, what's it, used to have that little popular book.
Soldier?
No, the writer. No, it had
Terry
this-
McMillan.
Terry McMillan, that's my sister. Read them books, you got good understanding of black people. So therefore, social analysis suffered.
Yes.
We just lived by what people wrote in books. Even when we discussed our problem, guess what? We wouldn't see a movie for it. You see?
Oh, it's sad.
And they orient us away from ourselves. And so again, I'm going far afield here.
No,
I'm
take
going
your
back.
time. Take your time.
It was an act of freedom
Yes.
to reject all they say about black.
Yes.
To actually, and here I want to give honor, and y'all know I'm not a Muslim, but I'm going to do this. I want to be forever grateful to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. who taught us to sacralize blackness, to make it sacred, right? To reaffirm it. I mean, later I found this in the Egyptian text, but it's Muhammad that first said it where we heard it, and it really was hit through Malcolm that he said it. I mean, I only heard Messenger Muhammad talk one time, but Malcolm, every time he come to Los Angeles, I used to be right there listening to him. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying to you, the messenger gave all black people a consciousness to resist European domination. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that affected me, listen to this is real funny. One of the things that affected me was, and I'm paraphrasing it, how the messenger said that the white man had actually disguised himself in you.
Teach.
He took your face and made a mask out of it, and then he took his face and put it on yours.
Oh.
He made you evil and him good. Even though he was the oppressor. He disguised himself, and the messenger stripped that disguise off him, told him, look, you know what? You're not who you say you are, even though you put your picture on the church wall. In fact, you're in disguise.
Yes.
I got a long lecture on that. I'm going to go now, but I want you to see it's an act of freedom to tear that mask off.
That's right. Teach.
Think about that. Think about that. It's an act of freedom, right? To return to our best values. Not no ghetto values, not something the caveman gave us, but to go back to our basic values of seeking and speaking truth, doing and demanding justice, honoring our elders and our ancestors, cherishing and challenging our children, having a rightful relationship with the environment, caring for the poor and the vulnerable among us. We went back to that, always striving against evil and injustice,
Yes.
and always praising, pursuing, and raising up the good.
Teach.
We went back to that.
That's right.
Back to black. That's what we used to say in the 60s.
That's
Back
right.
to black.
Back to
That's
black.
a revolutionary act.
Back
to
to
go
black.
back to black.
Back to black.
And all those people that denied it, they don't exist anymore.
Oh.
Except in imagination and writing.
Oh.
That's why I tell black people, if you deny your existence, you don't exist, you don't even have an agenda. You can't even defend yourself. Somebody talking post-racial talk. If you don't exist, what's your problem? How you can say somebody doing something to you? You just said you wasn't black. They doing this, they shooting down black people, but since you black, even that he get you, I'm sorry. We don't know who you are, you just said you're not this. Just think about that. If you're not black, if you don't exist, what's your agenda?
Break it down.
What's your complaint? What's your grievance? And what's your future?
Teach.
You don't have a future. And that's what he wants to convince you of. You don't exist. You can't make no claim against me because you don't exist. Think about it. So this is what Kawaida, my philosophy, was about.
Hey.
It argued that one of the most important things we could do is dialogue with African culture, ask it questions, and seek from it answers to the fundamental issues of humankind. What does it mean to be a man?
Yes.
What does it mean to be a woman? Who is the white man to tell us what manhood is or what woman is?
Now.
How can he even speak to us? How can our oppressor be our teacher? That's what we did. We rejected all that.
That's right.
We returned to our best values and practices and our resistance and increased our resistance to the imposition of Eurocentric ways of understanding and engaging the world. I think it's very important for us to understand Kwanzaa was also an act of resistance and an act of freedom, in that it was an act of self-determination. I didn't seek answers and forms and model from the white man, our oppressor. I created Kwanzaa from the rich and ancient and varied culture of African people. We didn't ask permission to create it or celebrate
No,
it.
we
Didn't petition
No.
the state legislature or the
No.
federal government or any other government. We didn't ask them for coverage or consent. Indeed, in a defiant act of freedom and self-determination, we created it for ourselves. We celebrated for ourselves, and we legitimized it ourselves. We declared a holiday and celebrated it.
That's right. That's right.
In a word, we were our own authority,
Yes.
our own legitimizer, self-conscious speakers of our own special culture, true to ourselves and the world. I want you to remember that. Kwanzaa then also was conceived, in my mind, as an instrument of struggle. Malcolm has said culture is an indispensable weapon in the struggle. And I saw our discussion of Kawaida and culture as an instrument of struggle, and Kwanzaa was part of that. And you know what it was done? To do just what it's doing now, to raise and cultivate the consciousness of the people, to unite them around principles that anchored and elevated their lives and involved them in the struggle to be themselves and free themselves and build the just and good world we all want, work for, and deserve. And so Kwanzaa is a celebration of freedom, of the freedom struggle itself, in which Kwanzaa is grounded, a celebration of our choosing to free ourselves and be ourselves as Africans, and to rejoice in the richness of our history and culture of awesome and audacious striving and struggle. And so I want you to say, in these times of winter storms and worse weather to come, Let us find in the celebration of Kwanzaa remembrance, reflection, and recommitment. It speaks to our constant striving and struggle to bring and sustain good in the world. Indeed, to repair, renew, and remake ourselves in the process and practice of repairing, renewing, and remaking the world. For as Mary McLeod Bethune said, we must remake the world. Our task is nothing less than that. In a real sense, the history of Kwanzaa mirrors the history of our people, black people, striving ever upward, refusing to be diverted, dispirited, or defeated. And we have now, black people, reached a crossroads where we need to draw upon all our inner strength. Keep the faith, hold the line,
Yes.
and not yield an inch or iota to evil and injustice
That's right.
anywhere.
That's right.
Let us hold fast in our African value system, the Ongoza Saba, that has won the hearts and minds of millions throughout the world African community. No other intellectual project, no other cultural project has united African people all over the world, on every continent in the world, throughout the world African community. There's not one other cultural product that has done that. So we have to hold to that. We have to cultivate that. We have to use that to unite our people, to ground them, so that they take it, as I said earlier, as a means to anchor themselves, orient themselves, elevate themselves, and direct their lives toward good and expansive end. And let our daily practice of our best value be our unannounced proof of who we really are.
Yes.
Because practice, in the final analysis, proves and makes possible everything. And it also becomes unannounced proof, not only who we are, but also what we aim to do in this our constant striving and struggle. The Ongoza Saba, the seven principles, begin with the principle of umoja. Say that, umoja.
Umoja.
Unity.
Unity.
For we come into being and best express and develop our humanity in relationship, black people. Although others may teach hate, hostility, alienation, animosity, etc., we must raise up the centrality of rightful relatedness, principled togetherness, and at oneness with each other and the world, which promises mutual respect, peace with justice, and the shared good of the world. I said then there are three basic aspects of unity, right? First is relatedness. We come into being in relation, right? And with every relationship, there is a responsibility. If I say I'm husband, that's not only a relationship, that's a responsibility. If I say I'm teacher, right? If I say I'm doctor, lawyer, if I say I'm a friend, if I say I'm a brother, and if you say you're a sister or a mother or a doctor or a lawyer or anything you name, that's a relationship. And at the same time, an awesome responsibility.
Yes.
And that means you must feel related to the people you are dealing with. Second, you have to have a serious togetherness. Togetherness means, a purposeful unifying, right? A principled unifying. But sometimes we're together with people, but we're not for them, even though we're with them. We might be of them, but still not be for them. Rescue me if I'm wrong. And a real unity makes you not only of and with, but also for. And finally, the ultimate unity is that oneness.
Yes.
That's a loving relationship we all seek.
Yes.
And sometimes think we'll never achieve. At oneness with each other and at oneness with the world. To feel natural in relationship.
Yes.
And to feel at one. Do you know what it means to feel at one? Now, this is almost a spiritual experience. People say mothers and children feel it. Fathers and children feel it. Friends feel it, right? Special relationship. And certainly male-female relationships or intimacies, people who are in intimate relationships can feel it. Now, y'all just listen just real close now. This at oneness I'm talking about.
Yes.
Do it any way you want in your mind. I can't talk all the way. You know what I mean? But there's certain practices that you get into when there is no up or down,
Yes.
no high or low, no there and here. It's just a merger. And nothing exists but the beauty of the whole. That's that oneness.
That wasn't it.
There's no separation. You can't imagine it. You're not even thinking about it. And we should strive for an oneness in our friendships. We can do it standing up as well as laying down. When you can do it standing up and sitting, walking and talking, working and building, then you know you become fully human.
Yes.
Fully able to understand and appreciate life the way it was created and the way it was internally directed.
Right.
The way it was internally directed. I'm sorry. I got kind of soft edge, you know. I'm just trying to fire up your imagination on this 50th anniversary of Kwanzaa. The second principle is kujichagulia,
Kujichagulia.
self-determination.
Self-determination.
It reaffirms the right and responsibility of every people to control their destiny in daily life and to be respected as a unique and equally valid and valuable way of being human in the world. Moreover, the principle ujima,
Ujima.
collective working responsibility,
Collective work and responsibility.
reaffirms that together we must build the good world we want and deserve to live in, and that we must share the good we cultivate and harvest together. It speaks of an ethics of sharing of the good of society in the world. Ujamaa,
Ujama.
cooperative economic,
Cooperative economics.
commits us to the principle and practice of shared work and shared wealth. It stresses our kinship with each other and the environment and appreciation for the need for a just and equitable distribution of the good for everyone so that all people can live lives of dignity and decency in the world. The principle of Nia,
Nia.
purpose,
Purpose.
commits us to work for the realization of the collective vocation of restoring African people to their rightful power and proper place in the world and to constantly bring good in the world. It calls on us for a special greatness, black people. I say this principle, Nia, calls on us for a special greatness. A greatness measured by our good deeds, not by warmongering and technological wonders.
No.
For the Hosea said, the wise are known by their wisdom, but the great are known by their good deeds. Kumba,
Kumba.
creativity,
Creativity.
commits us to work to build a world that is more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. And it reminds us of the ancient ethical imperative of Saruj Ta, to constantly repair and renew the world, making it, remaking it more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited.
Yes.
And it also teaches us to remake our own world and our own relationships, our own self. It means to raise up what is in ruin, to repair what is damaged, to replenish what is depleted, to rejoin what has been separated, to set right what is wrong, to strengthen what is weakened, and to make flourish that which is fragile and undeveloped. And we must see ourselves in this struggle we are waging. Not only as wounded people, not only as people who have been victimized unjustly by our oppressor, but we must see ourselves as injured physicians who can in fact heal themselves, who have it within themselves to heal themselves as they are in the process of healing and repairing the world. Because we must repair the world, we must repair first this society because it's a sick society, a pathological and pathogenic society. And if you live in a sick house or a sick society, you remain sick. Even if you have temporary inoculation against it, it gets you after a while. And you can never feel strong and as healthy as you ought to be.
That's right.
So there's no freedom without freeing this society from racism and sexism and classism and all the other isms that it has put together to dominate, deprive, and degrade people. And so I say to you, let's practice Saruj Ta. Let's heal and repair and remake society and the world in the process of healing and repairing ourselves and vice versa. Finally, Imani.
Imani.
Faith.
Hey.
The faith we talk about rejects the idea of a funded faith. A faith that seeks favor from the oppressor. We don't need that. It also rejects a religion in service to oppression. Indeed, our Imani teaches us to believe in the good, the right, and the possible, and in the righteousness and victory of our constant striving and struggle to expand the realm of freedom, justice, and peace, and lay a solid basis for human flourishing and the well-being of the world. And Imani reminds us, black people, to keep the faith of our foreparents, who taught us this enduring ethical obligation, to know our past and honor it,
Teach.
to engage our present and improve it, and to imagine a whole new future and forge it in the most ethical, effective, and expansive ways. And this too, from Kawaida, actually also from my ancestors. And this says this: if you want to celebrate this anniversary and celebrate the lives of black people, free and self-determining, then do this. Continue the struggle. Say, would you repeat after me? Continue the struggle.
Continue the struggle.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
Hold the line.
Hold the line.
Love and respect our people and each other.
Love and respect our people and each other.
Seek and speak truth.
Seek and speak truth.
Do and demand justice.
Do and demand justice.
Be constantly concerned
Be constantly concerned
with the well-being of the world and all in it.
with the well-being of the world and all in it.
And dare to rebuild
And dare to
the
rebuild
overarching movement
the overarching movement
that prefigures
that prefigures
and makes possible
and makes possible
the good world
the good
we
world
all want and deserve to live in,
we all want and deserve to
and
live
work so mightily to achieve.
and work so mightily to achieve it.
Heri za Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa, asante.
It is a Kwanzaa!
Close our meeting the way we have for 51 years. By saying 7 Harambe Swahili word means let's all pour together. Surely to build the good world we all want and deserve to live in, we must pour together. And when we say we put a hand up in the air now and pour down in a 60s fist, a black fist, not a blackish one, but a black fist. And we say 7 Harambe for the Ongoza Sabbath, the 7 principles, which we see as a moral minimum set of values that black people need in order to rescue and reconstruct their history and humanity and shape them in their own image and interest. We believe that black people can practice just some of these principles. Some of the time, all the change will come in their lives. And those principles, first in Swahili and then in English, are